Republicans experienced a very good night up and down the ballot in last night's primaries. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time to do a post-mortem of last night's primaries because I could safely say that overall last night was a good night. Now, was it a perfect primary night? No, there are obviously some L's here and there. That's going to happen every election night. But compared to prior election nights, this was way better. We actually had conservatives winning or overperforming. Hell, we saw one of the most insane Democrats in the House of Representatives go down in flames in a primary last night. So overall, it was a very good night. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, let us get into it because, like I said, this was a very good night overall, and it started in South Carolina. Now, personally, I wanted Mark Burns to win, but Sherry Biggs is not a rhino. She's not a Democrat. She's not a liberal. No. She is still a fairly conservative pick. The only difference here is Burns was the Trump-endorsed candidate, while Biggs wasn't. That's really the only difference. I looked more into Sherry Biggs, and I gotta say, she is a very good option, considering. I mean, I thought this was a bad option at first, but the more I looked into Sherry Biggs, she was an actually good candidate. It wasn't some rhino, it wasn't some liberal, it was an actual conservative versus conservative race. And she did win. Personally, I wanted Mark Burns to win because I think he's slightly better. But this is no dig against Sherry Biggs, I just like Mark Burns better. But South Carolina made a very good decision. It was either Sherry Biggs or Mark Burns, and, well, can't go wrong with either. But this was just the start, because this is a runoff, you know. It was two very good options, so you could argue, well, this wasn't really part of the election night because this was predetermined like 3 weeks ago, so it doesn't really matter. Well, we had some big victories in New York, and for the first time in a while, not on the Republican side, but on the Democrat side, because Jamal Bowman, yes, the same bozo that pulled the fire alarm in Congress, yeah, him, he went down in flames. He lost by 17 points, but I want to be clear about one thing. He only lost, not because of that. He didn't lose because he's a nut job. No. He lost because of AIPAC. And we need to have a serious discussion about this because I may not like Jamal Bowman. I think he deserved to lose. But is it really fair for one super PAC in AIPAC to spend tens of millions of dollars on one race and effectively buy the seat? That's what they did here. They bought the seat. And not just any super PAC, like, okay, that's bad enough, it's a super PAC. It's effectively a foreign entity that's operating in America and buying elections. We need campaign finance reform because this is ridiculous. Because this is a foreign entity. If this was China, if this was Russia, if this was Poland, whatever, I guarantee you everyone would be saying, no. We gotta ban the super PAC. But the fact it's Israel, and again, I have nothing against Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not any of that crap. But the fact is, they're allowed to operate here because, well, they're affiliated with Israel. That's not right. That should not be allowed. No foreign country should have that much influence when it comes especially to super PACs. There's no reason for it. It's corruption. It's not good. And that's what we got to look at. I don't know what the solution is, but there's no reason for AIPAC to go after Thomas Massie, go after even Bowman. Again, he deserved to lose, but the fact that they had to spend that much money to buy the seat, that's not right. Again, it's a big W, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth Bowman going down if it means AIPAC bought a seat like this? I don't think so. I think it should be banned. They should not be allowed to do that. But either way, Bowman went down in flames. Thank goodness. The guy has lost his freaking mind. The guy's a nut job, and he's done. But he may run again. There's a possibility that he runs not just in 2026. there's rumors circulating he could run this year. Now, will that actually happen? I highly, highly, highly doubt it because, you know, Leitmeyer's going to win. I just don't see him losing this race at all, but it would be hilarious if Bowman decides, you know what, I'm going to run in 2024 as a third-party candidate to screw Leitmeyer over. Now, a Republican's not going to win here, but I guess it's possible if you run a really good candidate and Bowman just takes half the vote or something crazy. Theoretically, I guess it could happen. But either way, you know, thank God Bowman's gone because the guy's a nut job. Remember, this is the guy that screamed at Thomas Massie for trying to have a civil discussion with him. He's a nut job. And speaking of victories on the Democrat side, we had a stunning turn of events in New York 17th. And for those that don't know, this is Michael Lawler's seat. He's in a Biden plus like 12 district, but I think he's the favorite. All right, even before these results, I really believed that Michael Lawler was going to beat Mondaire Jones by, you know, a close margin, but he was still going to win. Well, these results in the Working Families primary in New York 17th changes everything. And for those that don't know, we have fusion voting in New York, which effectively means, okay, you could be the nominee for multiple parties and be on the ballot a bunch of times. That's what it means. Well, Jones, the Democrat candidate, who, by the way, he used to be a progressive, now he's LARPing as a moderate, he pissed off the progressive vote, right? He pissed them off to a point where the Working Families Party, which is effectively a progressive party, they nominated someone else. Yeah, Jones was on the ballot, but he lost by, you know, like 60 votes. Well, this party usually gets around 1% of the vote. In a seat that Michael Lawler's, as of now, probably the favorite by like a half point in, a 1 point swing in favor of Lawler can make this race, I would say, unattainable for Jones, right? Because they're taking votes away just from the Democrats. They're not going to take votes away from Michael Lawler. That's insane. That's why this is significant, because I think it kind of, not guarantees, but it gives Michael Lawler a much easier pathway to victory, which I always thought that he was going to win because it seems like he's very well liked. The congressional district is favorable to him, and Jones is just a bad candidate. But the fact that the Working Families Party decided, you know what, this guy screwed us over, he lied to us, he's not a progressive now, we're going to support our own candidate. And more than likely, it's be enough for Jones to not win. Because at this point in time, I don't see him winning. He's running a terrible campaign. He now has to worry about this. Plus, he has to run against Michael Lawler, one of the strongest Republicans in the House. Now, as for other results in New York, we had New York 24th, and I wanted Mario Fredo to win, but sadly, Tenny's the incumbent. She got support from Trump. I really believe if Fredo got the Trump endorsement, which it's not likely, there was a chance here. But I'm not going to bash Trump for not endorsing Fredo because it's still a long shot to beat someone like Tenny because, well, she's been there for a while. She seems kind of well-liked. But still, he did get an impressive 39% of the vote. I still wish Fredo would have won. He is the America First candidate here. But overall, I would say the results in New York, especially on the Democrat side, are just hilarious enough to where I'm not mad that Fredo lost. It's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world because I don't think he really had that much of a shot at winning. But, yeah. Now, there were other results, and we had them in Colorado. But, namely, Colorado 4th, all right? There was both a special and a primary. And Lauren Boebert won the primary. For those that don't know or just live under a rock, she moved to the 4th district. She represented the 3rd district for a while, which, by the way, we got an awful candidate here, Jeff Turd, who's more than likely going to lose this cycle. Yeah, we nominated him. Well, Boebert decided, okay, I represented the 3rd district for a bunch of years, so I decided, okay, I'm going to switch to the other side of the state. And now I represent the 4th. Yeah, but she won the primary by, 30 points. That's not the big deal, however. The special election was. And I know this is a weird scenario where the special election, it's the guy's not running the primary for whatever reason. He decided, oh, I'm going to represent the seat for like 5 months or whatever, then I'm done. Well, Greg Lopez, the Republican candidate, won by 24 points. Yeah. For those that don't know, this is a Trump plus 19 seat. Yeah. A Trump plus 19 district. Greg Lopez won it by 24. That means that's a shift of 5 points since 2020. Now, the special election people, you know, the people that said, oh, the special election in New Hampshire State Legislative District 15 that had 15 people vote in it, yeah, that proves there's a blue wave. But a special election with 164,000 votes compared to other specials that the past 2 years, this is very high turnout. A bunch of people voted. Suddenly, oh, special elections don't matter. Bull crap. These people are just mad that, for the first time in a while, a Republican overperformed expectations. These people are guaranteeing a 10-point shift from 2020. Think I'm kidding. Look it up. A week ago, they were so smug and saying, oh, Greg Lopez, he's unelectable, you know, he's too pro-life, he's gonna get crushed, he's gonna underperform, you know, we're gonna be within 5 points. He did 5 points better than Trump. And he was the quote-unquote unelectable candidate. He was pro-life with no exemptions. And he had some serious allegations, but he won by 24. But notice something odd about this special compared to, say, Ohio 6. A lot of people actually voted. This wasn't 5 people voting and that's it. No, it was a high turnout race. A lot of people voted, 164,000 people. Hell, you go by county, the areas that had the largest turnout, they actually swung the most Republican. Hell, places like, I believe, Douglas. Yeah, Douglas County. This was a Trump plus 5 county, I believe. Yeah, Trump plus 7. Lopez won it by 11. Yeah. So you're telling me that we can use Ohio 6, all right? Ohio 6 is proof that Ohio's going to have a big shift to the left. When only, like, what, 50,000 people voted? But we can't use a special election where 164,000 people voted because of what? Oh, there's a primary going on. What? There was a primary going on both the Republican side and the Democrat side. But wouldn't you want there to be a primary because it's higher turnout, that means? Seriously. Why is it now a problem because of, oh, the turnout was the reason for this, you know, swing? So in other words, exactly what we've been saying for months now. These special elections, you can explain them as well. The ones with low turnout, they're swinging the most Democrat. The ones with higher turnout, they're swinging Republican. And this is a good example. A lot of people voted. Hell, we know for a fact a bunch of Democrats voted in the Republican primary. We know this because Lawler Bowman is such a notorious name that Democrats vote in the primary. We know this. So this idea that, well, actually, we only won because of a Republican primary. That's bullshit. This was a race that everyone knew about Bowman. Bowman is well known, and a lot of people don't like her. And that's why a bunch of Democrats voted in the Republican primary. Hell, Democrats had their own competitive primary, had like 40,000 votes. I understand that this is a Republican district, and it was expected Lopez was going to win. But these same people, they lost their shit when they overperformed in a Biden plus 80 state legislative district. I'm not even kidding. 10 people voted and they said, this is proof of a blue wave. No, this is proof that the lower turnout means a Democrat bump. That's the reality of it. Democrats do better with lower turnout, and Republicans now do better with higher turnout. If this doesn't prove what everyone's been saying for months now, right? I've been saying it for a year now, that higher turnout benefits Republicans. If this doesn't prove what we've been saying for a while, nothing will. These people cannot accept that their theory that a special election is going to prove everything of a blue wave is complete horseshit. I'm not saying this means anything for the general, by the way, because special elections, even this one, had much lower turnout than we're going to see in 2024. Hell, even in 2022, this is very low turnout, all right, compared to the general. So you can't use special elections, but The fact these people, they were worshiping every special because Democrats overperformed in them. But the one with turnout above, 5%, oh, now it doesn't matter. Bull crap. You're coping about it. Just accept it. Your theory about special elections were wrong. You can't use them. Because they're low turnout. Even this one. I highly doubt that we're going to see a 5 to 6 point shift in Colorado. But that's the theory these people are using. They really believe special elections mean everything. No, they don't. Now, this was a W because we actually destroyed the special election narrative. Hell, a bunch of people that worshipped every special, even the most random seat, like the freaking Wyoming dog catcher seat. That doesn't exist, obviously, but if that existed and 5 people voted in it and the Democrat won, they would go apeshit and say, this is a sign that Wyoming's going blue. These people are nuts. But we did have one L last night. Okay, one significant L. Colorado third, like I said, Jeff Turd won. He's not a good candidate, but this was expected. It was Utah. This state is the reason we didn't have a perfect night. I don't get what Utah Republicans are doing. I know a bunch of Democrats infiltrated the party. I understand that. But really? You replaced Mitt Romney with John Curtis. Somehow you got a downgrade. I'm not even kidding. John Curtis is worse than Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney just has Trump derangement syndrome. At least his voting record at times was decent. John Curtis, to give you perspective to how bad this guy is, he's known as the climate change Republican in Utah. I understand, again, a bunch of Democrats vote in this primary because, well, they never have competitive primaries. They always have uncontested primaries for everything. And they just vote in the Republican primary to get the electable or the principled conservative. And that's why John Curtis and Spencer Cox won. But the fact that we're getting stuck with bozos like this is pathetic. And by the way, I thought the Mormons were such a conservative group. Yeah, right. They're so conservative that they support people like John Curtis. Now, I expected this, but I'm just disappointed in Utah for electing Spencer Cox, freaking John Curtis. Unbelievable. But there was one positive. Yes, there was actually one W. District 3, Mike Kennedy won. For those that don't know, we might have finally gotten a conservative in Utah. Outside of Mike Lee, the Republican delegation in Utah is awful. Well, it seems like Mike Kennedy might be the first halfway conservative in Utah, at least the House level, in years. We still have a chance, I guess, in District 2 with Kobe Jenkins, but it looks like Malloy's going to hold on. But Mike Kennedy is the conservative pick, and he won by quite a bit. So there might be some hope that, hey, maybe Republicans are finally starting to wake up and realize, hey, why are we electing people like Spencer Cox, people like John Curtis? We are a R+20 state. But either way, the fact that this is the only significant win in Utah is pathetic. We had an opportunity to elect Trent Stakes, or hell, even Brad Wilson. He would have been a way better senator than Mitt Romney. But no, we get stuck with John Curtis because of Democrats and Mormons. That's reality of it. I don't get Mormons sometimes. They really are considered a conservative group. Really? They're so conservative that they vote for John Curtis and Mr. Pronouns and Spencer Cox. Funny last name, by the way. This just shows everyone that we need a convention system ASAP. A real one, not the shitty one Utah has. If you win at the convention, you should be the nominee no matter what. Because if we had that system, we would get way better upgrades everywhere. Not just Utah, but every state. We would get way better candidates. Actual conservatives. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.